Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Bald Explorer, and I'm back, excuse me, on the Sussex Border Walk. And I'm starting my resumption, is that the right word? Resumption? My resuming of the Sussex Border Walk, where I've started in Worthing in West Sussex, and I'm walking along the whole border of Sussex, and I'm heading west first of all, and then going north and round. So I'm going clockwise. That's the aim. But I'm picking up my journey here in Pagham. The last time I was in Aldwych, which is a little to my east, and now I'm in Pagham on a beautiful end of March sunny day. We're so lucky with the weather at the moment, and the restrictions are just lifting a little bit so that we can go further afield. So I thought it would be ideal to come out and start another of these episodes. We have the sea down here, which is why a lot of people come, I think, to Pagham for its beach, the caravan park, and of course holidays, which is absolutely wonderful. And why wouldn't you? But out at sea, south of Pagham, I understand that in the 16th century there was the remnants of a village that got swallowed up in the 16th century called Charlton, and also a little further along, I believe, in the 13th and 14th century, the port, now is it Withering or Withering, which was here. The coastal erosion along the south coast has, of course, as we've seen in this little mini series, been quite terrible for the villages and the communities on the seafront. But as I mentioned before, this is a holiday place for many people. So let's go and have a look what's here. So of course, being March, I'm coming in the town at a point when the holiday season is yet to start. We've also had probably the worst season that any town, seaside town, has had, coming through a year of COVID. And so this whole area is hoping now, with the restrictions to be left, no doubt, that it can recoup some of the losses from last year. And when we've got weather like this, let's hope it stays like that for the foreseeable future, so that people can come and put a little bit of income back into these seaside resorts. But of course, for the moment, it's all closed down, waiting for perhaps the Easter holidays, although I don't think we will have the restrictions lifted in time, but maybe for after, and then the summer. So it looks like the main, I don't know the area terribly well, in fact at all well, so like all of this, going west and round the perimeter is all a bit of an exploration for me. So if I get a few facts wrong, or if I go in the wrong place or whatever, do forgive me. Remember, I don't know the area. That's part of being the Bald Explorer. But I believe that the main part of the village and the town is actually that way. But I want to try and head this way because I want to continue to go west. I want to have a look at the church, but also at the lagoon. I'm walking down a lane here which is non-tarmacked. I suppose it's a metalled lane. There's bits of tarmac, but it's potholed and what have you. It hasn't been fully developed, I guess. But there are houses here, bungalows on either side of me as I head west down towards the lagoon. And I understand that many of the original houses here were made up of, like a number of places along the seafront, at Shoreham and at Goring, redundant railway carriages. And I believe they were sold off and made into homes around about 1918 from anything from 10 to 50 pounds. You could get yourself a home down here by the coast on a glorious sunny day like this. Why wouldn't you? Now, if I keep going, I should eventually get to the lagoon. I've made it down to the lagoon and I can tell you what a stunning scene. I know the lovely Julia would absolutely relish being here. It's just superb and so quiet. I've come clearly on exactly the right day. This area, I don't know exactly where, but the Pagham harbour, which I think is more over that side actually, was a primary Roman port back in, well, from AD 46, I understand. And it's hard to imagine a busy, bustling port here now when everything is so very peaceful. And of course, it's a haven for all sorts of wildlife. It's a beautiful place for those birders who want to do any bird spotting. I wish I knew all the different types of birds there were, because I'm pretty useless at that. But if that's your bag, then this is most definitely the place to come. I think if you can get down here when it's not busy with tourists and people, you get a sense of what it must have been like before the caravans on the other side, and when it was just perhaps a smaller community, or even perhaps some of the landscape when the Romans were here, or even when the Saxons were here. Now, talking of the Saxons, I need to cross the lagoon here and get over into the distance there, where the church awaits exploration. To do that, I'm back over the little bridge and through the Church Farm Caravan Park. Well, you can hire these caravans. I think it's Haven who operate here, and what an amazing place to have a holiday, because you do get some incredible views of the lagoon. I've got to weave through, but I just wanted to have a quick peek to here to show you some of the size of the lagoon. The caravan park, I think, is Church Farm, and as the name suggests, presumably it was originally just an ordinary working farm, but it may have found prosperity, and it certainly seems to, from turning the farmland into a holiday place. And I guess just looking at the cleanliness, the quality of the caravan park itself, it's clearly a very well-run and prosperous place. So that was a good decision on the owners of the caravan park, I guess. Although, of course, with me, it's always a shame to see the farmland disappear. But very noisy seagulls up there. So this place here next to me is Becket's Barn, which I believe incorporates the Great Hall of a 14th century rectory. It's now, I guess, a reception and guest service here. But what a wonderful thing to see, a bit of heritage within all the modern caravans. And a stone's throw, where I'm trying to get to, the church. Let's go and have a look. This is St. Thomas of Becket, or St. Thomas Becket, I suppose. And it's mentioned in the Domesday Book. The Saxons were here from the 5th century, so I'm assuming that at some point they built a church here, the Saxon church, and then the Normans came in and rebuilt it. I've got a date of 1206. I'm not quite sure if that is the rebuilding of the church, but it's a beautifully impressive church, I have to say. Unfortunately, we can't go in at the moment, but I would definitely come back and explore it some more. It's in cruciform shape by the looks of it. It's this north-facing transept. You've got the chancel, which is just next to me here. And actually, if we look at some of the stonework, you can see there's a mixture of sandstone and flint. And the flint is this, I can't remember if it's called galleting, something like that, where they stick in the flints, but it's been very, very beautifully done. I don't know whether that was as a result of the Normans doing that. And look at this. Here, some sort of water chute to allow the water to come out when the rain comes down. Absolutely incredible church. Very, very impressive. I'm just amazed that I have it all to myself. Just now I said you couldn't go in. I had assumed, stupidly, that it would be locked, but actually I've just tried the door. And we can come into the church. Well, this is very nice. It's nice to be able to get back into churches again. and feel a complete different atmosphere when you come in. It's absolutely amazing, beautifully quiet. You feel very reverent in this environment, and it's so nice to start going back. Let's hope more churches are going to be opening up now. Sadly, I don't know too much about the church. I'm going to have to find out. But it's just wonderful. It's just wonderful to come in and have a look. Some amazing stained glass windows for certain, and these enormous, great big arches that give it the transepts here an immense sense of space. It must have been at one point a very large community here for such a big church. Well, I've enjoyed my visit to Pagham. Again, like all of these videos, it's just a bit of a whistle-stop tour of the place, of course, and I would have missed out so much, which is a big shame. One could come back and spend time just looking at all sorts of individual aspects of it. I'm going to be continuing my walk around Pagham Harbour and then carrying on westwards until, of course, I get to that point where I start to turn away from the coast and then head northwards along the Sussex border. But before I go, I couldn't help but just have another look at this incredible cottage here, which I think must be one of the oldest in Pagham. It's a very beautiful and very lovely cottage, thatched cottage. Down behind me is the way down to the harbour, and then you cross and you get across to the whole of the expanse of the water and all the rest. And I hope next time I can get some pictures of the birds and what have you. But if you've enjoyed this, don't forget to follow, like and subscribe. Become a patron, support what I do, and I'll continue to make these videos. But thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.